We are back live with In Between the Lines. This is Jeff. I'm Jake. How's it going, everybody?
What
What's up,
up,
Jeff?
Jake?
You see it. We're doing something a little unusual. We're actually doing it on game day, Sunday.
Yeah, man. I'm all pumped up. You see, I'm ready. I see you ready.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who y'all
For
got
sure.
today?
We have Minnesota.
Hmm.
Minnesota. And I think from what I read, J.J. McCarthy is going to be the quarterback. So um, we'll see. I don't think Minnesota's incredibly tough, but they're not weak either. You know, it's one of those. It's a division rival. Those are always going to be tough. Um, you know, as we're about a third of the way into the season, I guess the biggest thing to me, I feel like I like how my Lions are playing. They're strong, but I'm starting to get worried about some of the same things that ended up plaguing us last year. Is man, the injuries are piling up.
Yeah.
Like I mean, our secondary is completely decimated, and I really thought Tampa Bay was going to eat us up. And that secondary that I only recognized one name actually played pretty well, but I just as the injuries keep mounting up, as it gets towards the end of the year, like last year, I just don't think we can keep overcoming that. So I'm hoping we can get healthy.
Well, y'all just gave Hutchinson a huge extension.
You know, he's to me, I think he's worth it. Like I said, I think he's a stud. I think he changes the game in a lot of ways. Like I said, I mean, I don't think he's injury prone because of last year. I've heard some people say, "Oh, you're going to give him that much when he just missed last year." I mean, last year was like a freak injury. I don't think he has any history of being injury prone, and I mean, he came back just as strong as when he left last year. So I like I said, to me, you get a guy like that in his prime, and you can lock him up, lock him up.
How many sacks he got? You know?
I want to say he's at like 6 or 7, but I think he's like, I mean, he's top 10 in sacks right now, but I think he's number 1 in pressures.
Hmm.
Said he's making a difference. He's making a difference.
Okay.
But like I said, I'm more concerned about there's talk, and I knew this going into the year too. You know, Davenport, who is a good defensive end, but he is plagued by injuries. And I think it only took 1-2 games for him to get injured and put on the IR this year. And they said he's going to come back here in the next couple of weeks, but I just fear that within a game or two he'll be injured again. So there's a lot of rumors going around that we are shopping for edge help and cornerbacks here at the trade deadline. So we'll see. I mean, you know, I keep hearing all the pipe dream rumors about Max Crosby and Trey Hendrickson, and I don't think there's any chance that those happen. But I would be interested to see if they do get some type of help, some type of depth. Because last year, if you remember, they picked up God, what's his name? It's escaping me now, but they picked him up at the end of the year, and then they didn't re-sign him this year, and everybody was kind of mad. And then I think he signed with God, I'm drawing a blank, but he retired
Hmm.
within 2 or 3 games. Oh, he signed with Philly. Yeah, he signed with Philly, and then after 2 games, retired. So it was like, oh, maybe
Yeah.
management saw something about that one that we didn't see, but we'll see. Like I said, to me, the name of the game is healthiness. If we can stay healthy, I think we're as good as anybody. If we stay healthy, but that's the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it. Because we've been missing our number one corner for most of the season, Jalen Johnson. We get Tyreek Stevenson back today. Our number one nickelback, Kyler Gordon, he's on IR. So we hurting too. We kind of in the same boat because we need a pass rusher as well. You know, we picked up Sweat last year, but he
Right,
ain't no number one pass rusher, man. You know,
right.
we need somebody, you know, that's really applying that pressure on the other side. So
And
we've
then,
been hearing the same rumors too, like you, Trey Hendrickson, Max
yeah.
Crosby. I'd love to have Max.
So Max is one of my favorite players in the league, but I mean, he just signed a huge contract with the Raiders. Like I said, he's not going anywhere. I mean, I just I think the media throws those rumors around there just because it gives them something to talk about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I said, and then gets the fan bases all pumped up. Whatever team that they're expressing that he might go to, that team gets super excited. I mean, I've gone on a couple other social media pages of other team like Dallas fans and Raiders fans and Bills fans, and they're all saying the same thing. Oh, we might get Crosby. Oh, we might get Hendrickson, and in the scheme of things, that just usually doesn't happen, especially midseason. But it's fun to talk about. It's fun to speculate. It is fun to wish that I could have Max Crosby on the opposite side of Aiden Hutchinson. That'd be absolutely insane. But
So
I just don't think that's going to happen.
Who's the scariest team to you right now?
God, that's a tough question. I was looking at some of the teams earlier today, and in the NFC, nobody really scares me. I mean, Green Bay is tough. I mean, we played them week 1 and they dominated us and looked like, oh man, these are Super Bowl contenders. But since then, they haven't looked very good.
Yeah, you can't put a lot of stock into week 1. You can't.
No, like I said, I remember last year, even though I mean we were winning, but last year we started off very slow. And like I said, I was discussing that with some people, and I think some of that has to do with, and a lot of teams do it too, but Detroit doesn't play any of their main starters during preseason. And like I said, to me, I think that makes them a little cold to start the season. But yeah, like I said, I knew that was going to be a tough game on the road. First game of the season at Green Bay, who is a tough team. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're not tough, but they sure looked a lot tougher week 1 than they have since then. They still have the best record in the NFC, but they just I like how we'll match up with them when we play them at home later on in the season. But we'll see. But I guess let me look at some of these other NFCs because Tampa Bay kind of scared me when we were going to play them. I was like, that's a tough matchup for us, and we actually handled them pretty well. I don't think Philly's super scary myself. They don't impress me. They to me seem kind of like Kansas City last year, where yeah, they're winning games, but they're barely winning games. I mean, they could very easily have a losing record right now.
Well, everything falls on Barkley.
And Barkley's not having a great season this year. He's not having the season that he had last year, that's for sure.
Yeah, but he woke up last week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
But see, last week he was having that type of week every week last year. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a super talented running back,
Yeah,
but
he jumped over somebody backwards.
That was crazy. That was crazy. When I saw that, it's funny because I showed my wife when I saw it. It was like on a clip, and of course she's like, "Oh yeah, what's the big deal?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" I've never seen that in my life. That's insane.
Well, nobody has. He didn't even see it before. It just happened.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I mean, some of the teams out in the AFC look a little tough and scary, but when I'm looking at the NFC, I mean, Washington's got to be a huge disappointment this year. I was thinking about this earlier, like, who are some of the surprise teams, and Washington's one of the surprise teams in the downward direction to me.
I am not surprised.
Yeah,
I'm not. I mean, he had the best rookie season that we ever seen, probably at the quarterback position. But there's always a team that plays out their mind like that, and then the next season you're like, damn, what happened?
Well, and I was watching some stuff about it a little earlier when they really came out the back struggling, and there was some talk about that. That there's been some quarterbacks that have had that great rookie season, and then they have that sophomore slump and really struggle that next year or even the rest of their career. I mean, like Robert Griffin III was an example of that. CJ Stroud, you're seeing some of that right now with. But what it was talking about earlier, they're like, no, if you watched them last year as a team, they won a lot of close games last year and against some bad teams as well. It was like they kind of just hit their stride for a stretch and got the right teams at the right time in the playoffs last year. Like I said, I mean, they whooped us in the playoffs, but like I said, that was, to me, was a culmination of, all right, the 17 lost players in IR on defense is finally coming through, and we couldn't stop them a single play.
Right.
But
you know, the NFL thought they were going to be a lot better too, because I went to DC for the Monday night game when the Bears was there, and I think the very next week they was on Sunday Night Football, and then 2 weeks later they on Monday night again.
Yeah. Well, it's hard, They make it to the playoffs last year, which was unexpected because, I mean, they had the second pick last year's draft, so they were one of the worst teams in the NFL. They make the playoffs. They beat the Lions in the playoffs. Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year. So they've got this young, exciting quarterback that took his team to the playoffs. I mean, that's absolutely something you would think the NFL would want to hype up. So they're probably pretty disappointed right now, too.
Yeah. But a team that's surprising me, and I'm pretty sure they catching everybody by surprise, is the Indianapolis Colts.
So yes, so that's the other thing that I was looking at. There's really three teams that are really catching me by surprise, but the Colts are definitely number one. But the Patriots and the Broncos too. The Patriots and the Broncos are both winning games and looking good as well. But I think there was some talk that Denver could be a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about the Patriots though, but nobody thought the Colts are going to be good. And the Colts are number one scoring offense in the NFL. Daniel Jones looks like one of the best players in the league, which, he gets cut from the Giants, goes and signs with Minnesota as a backup. And now look at him. Now he's looking like a stud. It's crazy. I love it. I love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I never thought Daniel Jones was a bum, though. I know that may sound crazy, but when you watched him in New York, I was just like, this guy just got to be coached up. That's what I've seen in him the whole time.
Yep, absolutely.
And New England, I'm not really surprised by New England because I knew what they was going to do when they hired Mike Vrabel. I know what he brings to the table. And they got Josh McDaniels up there. I mean, they got everything except for Belichick.
Yeah. Well, Belichick's killing it down in North Carolina. I don't know if you've seen that.
Man, I think he just needs to go ahead and call it quits, man.
Yeah. I don't even know why he would have wanted to go there to begin with. That was a completely shocking move to begin with. He's in his 70s. He's got 6-7 Super Bowl rings. Gonna go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time, and then you go to North Carolina in the NCAA in the NIL transfer era. It didn't make sense to me.
Some people just can't let it go, man. Been doing something for so long, it's just hard, like a washed up boxer.
I just don't see how he has the time or energy with that 22-year-old girlfriend, though. I mean, to me, it seems like that'd be draining all his energy.
Bill Belichick girlfriend, 22.
Oh, she's young. You haven't seen? I mean, I've seen
Come on,
more,
man.
I've seen more media stuff about that than anything. You haven't seen anything about that? Are you kidding me right now?
I'm dead serious.
Oh,
she ain't 22 though.
She's young. Let me see for real before I go spouting off incorrect information. But she's young. She's young and she's very attractive.
Money will do that for you.
She's 24.
That's insane, man.
24. Yeah.
I wouldn't even want a 24-year-old, and I'm 47.
He's 73. So there's more of an age gap in there than how old you are.
Oh God. I know why she doing it. He rich.
Yep.
Come on, Bill. You can't go and get a 50, 60-year-old woman. It's attractive 50-year-old women out there.
Yep. I think I'm more amazed that you hadn't heard about it.
That's nasty.
Yeah, it's funny to me, but yeah. But no, I said Drew, my youngest son, he really likes Drake May, which is the quarterback in New England. So
Mm,
he's been following New England quite a bit, and he's on his fantasy football team and all that stuff. So of course, I follow some of the things that my kids are following, but yeah, they're good.
right.
They're solid team, like you said. Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a good coach, and people
Yeah.
play hard for him. So that's not surprising to me. But I mean, when I'm looking at the NFC, though, I mean,
Philly, Green
there's
Bay, and Detroit.
Philly, Green Bay, Detroit. I mean, I think the Rams are a sneaky team. I think Tampa Bay is a sneaky team too, because in fairness, they haven't been healthy as well. I mean, they're missing several of the receivers, but I like Baker Mayfield. I think he's a tough go out and win type of quarterback.
Right.
But
Yeah. Oh, that Tampa Bay is 6-2. So this it really just come down to matchups.
mm-hmm.
Who you gonna match up with in the playoffs?
And who's
Uh,
the healthiest? And who's the healthiest?
yeah, because I
So,
think Tampa Bay can take Green Bay.
like I said, I think Tampa Bay can beat anybody in the NFC. They're solid. Like I said, they're solid. Like I said, and like I said, if anybody scares me the most, it's going to be Green Bay. It's going to be Green Bay, and part of that reason is I think we spoke about this before the playoffs last year when there was a chance the Lions might play Green Bay in the playoffs. Is that whole you already play them twice throughout the season, so you know each other.
That
You
third
know each other.
time.
That third time, especially if you win the first two, it's really hard to beat a good team three times.
3 times, yes.
So maybe I want Green Bay to beat us the second game, and then we beat them in the playoffs.
So you hear what they I work with a couple of Green Bay fans.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's horrible. So, and one of them told me, he asked me, how old was Bart Starr when he won the Super Bowl? I said, hell, I don't know. He said 27. He said, how old was Brett Favre when he won? I said 27. Let me guess. How old did Jordan Love just turn? 27. You see a pattern here? They all win it there. Green Bay is not winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think that they're. I mean, like I said, after that first week, they haven't looked incredibly impressive to me. But they're all right. I mean, like I said, as we're talking about that NFC, though, I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot. Like I said, I agree. I think Tampa Bay can beat them, but I think they could beat Tampa Bay. I think them and Philly would be close. I think us and them would be close. But I think it's those four teams for sure. And I think the Rams can make a little bit of noise.
Well, you can't forget about Seattle.
I was literally just going to say Seattle's a tricky team. They've got a team.
So the NFC East, you got Philly 6-2. Second place is Dallas at 3-4.
Bums.
NFC North, Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago. We all over 500.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to see what happens with Detroit and Minnesota today. Then you got NFC South, Tampa Bay 6-2, Carolina 4-4, Atlanta 3-4, and we're not even going to talk about New Orleans.
Wow, I'm surprised Carolina's second in that division right now.
Yeah, and NFC West, their division is just as tough as ours. You got Seattle 5-2, the Rams 5-2. With all of the injuries San Francisco have, they still 5-3. So there you have it.
Yeah, like I said, to me, there's not one team that stands out. Not one team that stands out. Like I said, it's going to come down to, like you just said, matchups and injuries. Matchups and injuries.
And Indianapolis has the best record in the league.
Which, like I said, is crazy.
7-1.
Crazy. Who do they play today? Because I want to say I was looking at their schedule and it's like they're gonna keep winning games.
Let me see. The Colts got the Steelers.
Steelers are all right. They're not bums. They're not great, but they're not bums.
That defense, man. They're struggling on the defensive side of the ball, which is Mike Tomlin's specialty. They got a bunch of names over there, but they old.
Right. It's in Pittsburgh, but it's in Pittsburgh, and Colts are still favored by 3.5. So,
well, we might as well go over the games today.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Bears, Bengals.
In Cincinnati?
Yep.
DeAndre Swift isn't playing?
Nah.
It's a tough one. I like the Bears in that one myself.
Okay.
But I think it'll be a competitive game. I do have Roman Dunze on my fantasy team today, so I hope he goes off.
Oh, you know what? I got a tough pick to make. A tough choice with my fantasy. Do I start Caleb Williams today or Drake May?
Who's New England playing?
Wait a minute. I think they on a bye anyways.
No, they're playing the Falcons.
Oh. Yeah, who should I start?
Yeah, at home. I would probably go with May myself. Because Cincinnati's actually got somewhat of a solid defense. It's their offense that's struggling.
Okay. All right, that's the next game too. I see it. Falcons, Patriots. I'm taking the Pats.
I got the Pats as well.
Chargers, Titans.
Titans are horrible. I'm gonna go with Chargers. You know what's funny though? Chargers is one of those teams at 5-3. The first couple of games of the season, they look like the best team in the NFL, and then since then they've kind of been 500. They're still a solid team, but yeah, it's kind of weird. But I think they easily handle the Titans though.
They're definitely a team that can upset somebody if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Colts and Steelers. We both said Colts.
For sure. Oh, I don't know that I said that, but I think that's going to be a competitive game. But you just said Steelers' defense is struggling, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Colts has the best. I'm going to go with the Colts. Best offense versus worst, not worse, but a struggling defense. That's
49ers, Giants. I'm going Niners.
The Giants have been an interesting team this year. Their 2-6 record doesn't show a lot because they've actually been in some games. I like Jackson Dart. I really liked Cam Scatterbo, but he got a gruesome injury.
Yeah, he done.
So, I'm going to go Giants in this one.
Okay. I'm going Niners. Broncos and Texans.
I've got the Broncos. Texans aren't very good.
Same. Vikings, Lions. We both going Lions on that one.
Yep.
Panthers, Packers. Pack.
I'm going Pack only because they're at home. Panthers aren't bad. Like I said, when you were just going over the records, I was surprised where they're at. But, they've got a good running back. Their defense is pretty solid. Like I said, it's one of those almost like old school type teams where they run and then try to play decent defense. But Green Bay is a tough place to play, so I'm going Green Bay.
Well, this is an ugly one. Jaguars, Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going Jacksonville on that one.
I'll go Raiders. Saints and Rams. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think the Rams are favored by 13.5. I think they cover.
Yes, it's 13.5.
Yeah.
And the game of the day, Bills and Chiefs.
That is a good one.
In Buffalo.
I'm going Bills.
Me too.
I still think the Bills are coming out of the AFC this year. I know I said that last year too, but I think the Bills are going to break through this year.
Seahawks, Commanders. I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, I think I am too.
And the Monday night game is Cowboys and Cardinals.
What a horrible Monday night game.
I gotta go Cowboys on that one.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys at home as well.
Okay. So I don't know how I feel about Caleb Williams. I know you say you know you never really been a fan of him, but you know I'm trying to be a fan of him.
Right, I get it. I get it.
You know, sometimes he looks great, especially in the first quarter. He looked unstoppable. And then second, third, and fourth, I mean, he gets worse as the quarters go by. And it's irritating. He's missing throws. You know, we have a good offense. We got plenty of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he is, and you can see the frustration on Ben Johnson's face. But I'm wondering how long this is going to go. But something interesting is they compared Jared Goff numbers and Caleb Williams numbers the first year under under Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
In the first 6 games, they were almost identical.
Really? That's interesting.
I don't remember when Ben Johnson actually got to Detroit, though. I don't know how long he was there before they started winning.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Because he didn't start off as their offensive coordinator. I think he started off as their quarterback coach, and then got promoted to things. So he's been working with Jared Goff for a little bit. So are they comparing those stats to when he was his quarterback coach, or is it comparing those stats
coordinator
to first year as offensive coordinator? And I don't know. I mean, who is the Bears' offensive coordinator right now, or is Ben Johnson the one calling the plays?
Ben Johnson is calling the plays.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
So that gives me a little hope.
Yeah.
But the problem with Caleb is that he's always trying to make a big play every play.
Yeah.
And it don't work like that.
See, my Caleb Williams hates has dissipated a little bit. Like I said, to me, what I didn't like about Caleb Williams was all the hype that surrounded him and then with his cockiness and arrogance to go with it. I didn't think the hype was warranted. Now there isn't any hype with him anymore. You know what I mean? So
right.
Nobody's talking about him anymore. And to me, he's playing like I expected him to play. That's, to me, is like he's good enough to be an NFL quarterback. But if you remember when they came out, I mean, he was generational talent. People were even saying he was going to be the first rookie to take a team to the Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. And to me, it was like
comparing him to Mahomes.
Yes, and like I said, I wasn't seeing that, and I still don't. But like I said, nobody's talking about him anymore. Like I said, you barely hear anybody talk about him now. I mean, obviously, like Chicago stations and outlets are still talking about him, but
right.
Like I said, he's like I said, I'm not going to say he sucks as a quarterback. I definitely don't think that. He's got talent, but being a quarterback is more than just about talent. And to me, that's what he lacks, is that other stuff. And that's what you just said.
Decision making.
Yeah, trying to make big plays all the time instead of taking let me make this little dump pass and get the first down, rather than let me try to make this miraculous 40-yard throw that ends up not being complete or intercepted or something like that. But part of that is just learning to be a quarterback. Like I said, I also think that people hype up rookie quarterbacks way too soon and quit on young quarterbacks way too soon. And I think we're seeing some of that right now in the Daniel Joneses and the Baker Mayfields and things like that. Though, I mean, those are quarterbacks that had hype, didn't perform right away, were given up on, kicked out of their team, and now they're doing really well somewhere else. So I said, I think it's a little unfair to some of these young quarterbacks to begin with, because everybody wants that number one pick to come right out and be an all-pro, and that just usually isn't the case.
Yeah, it seemed like the greats they sat for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, to me, that's the best case scenario is for a young quarterback to get drafted and then sit behind a good veteran quarterback and learn some things and get some time here and there. And then after 2 or 3 seasons of doing that, then they're ready to take over the reins. And you saw that a little bit with Jordan Love. I mean, Jordan Love came in and played a season or two before that happened. But that's the thing is then if you have that good quarterback that's still performing, then they kind of rush him out of town. And like I said,
Yeah.
sometimes those good quarterbacks don't like you drafting a quarterback with the first pick and knowing that this is my replacement, and there ends up being some tension and stuff like that.
Aaron
So
Rodgers and Brett Favre.
absolutely, absolutely. But that's that. I mean, that's the expectation, though. A first round pick is supposed to come out and perform. I mean,
Do
that's
you
just how it is.
do you know if Joe Montana said it all?
I don't. I don't know.
I guess that's a good trivia question.
You know, I've kind of, we're kind of switching to a different team right now, but I'm starting to feel that way a little bit with the Bryce Underwood situation at Michigan. You know, he he came right in and you know, superstar recruit and came out and won the starting job, which I told you I thought that he might. And he's having an up and down season right now. And then it's funny. I don't know if you saw, but I took Drew last week. We went to the Michigan State game.
Yeah, I seen that.
Because he's a Michigan State fan, and which still blows me away. But he's a Michigan State fan, and it was I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when Michigan State was going to play UCLA at home. He had said he got invited to go with some buddies. Hey, can I go to this game? And as we're discussing it with them and trying to figure out who's going, it was literally 2 kids that just turned 16 and him that were going to be going for a 7:30 night Michigan State game on homecoming. And we were like, no, we're not really comfortable with that. And he was bummed and disappointed and started throwing up. But you never have taken me to any type of Michigan State game, which is true. Which is true. He's been to a bunch of Michigan games, Michigan basketball, Michigan football, baseball, that stuff. And so he was saying that, and finally Amy had said, "Why don't you just take him to the Michigan State game?" And I was like, I do that. Just,
Right.
I've never actually been to a Michigan versus Michigan State game, so I was like, oh yeah, that works out perfectly. And then actually, because the Michigan State's so bad this year, the tickets weren't expensive. I mean, I want to say we paid $120 a ticket. That's not bad at all. I mean, when both teams are somewhat decent, you're talking about $400 or $500 a ticket.
Right.
So we went, and it was funny because I'm listening to, we're sitting right in a Michigan State like section of season ticket holders, and the amount of hate they have for Michigan was amusing to me. I didn't enjoy sitting with it. They weren't disrespectful to me or anything like that, but just the whining and snickering and comments that they would make, it was totally a loser mentality. Like I said, to me it was like, oh well, yeah, that's not surprising to me, but you hear they love that Bryce Underwood's not doing. You know what I mean? It's like, so every time he incomplete pass, oh, where's that $12 million? And another incomplete pass. Oh, where's that Larry Ellison money? And things like that. And so as I was discussing it with somebody like a week or two ago, where they were saying, oh, I just don't. Oh, actually, Amy was saying, do you think he's worth the $12 million? I was like, well, I don't think any college player is worth $12 million. First of all, I mean, we've discussed that already. But do I think he's failing as a quarterback? No, I don't. He just turned 18 the week before the season started. He could still be in high school right now. Michigan's had one freshman start at quarterback in their whole history. And still, he's had a way better season than anybody they had on their team last year. But what I've seen is sometimes you see those plays where he makes a throw or he makes a play, and it's like, that's it. That's why he's here. That's why he's hyped up. And then you see a lot of other things like missed throws and things like that, where it's like, that's an 18-year-old kid playing his first season in college football against Division I Big Ten teams. Like I said, so it's one of those things. I knew. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. But did I expect him to come up and just light up the whole college world this year? No, I didn't expect that. And it's funny because I think a lot of people did. And then the Michigan haters love that he's not. And it's like, well, I mean, I'm not disappointed with him. I didn't pay him $12 million, so I don't care about that. I don't like that whole situation. Right. But do I think he's going to be a winning quarterback for us? Absolutely. Absolutely, I do.
When he learned how to put some touch on those passes.
You know what? And I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. Because I've seen him throw with some touch too. And I mean, he has had a lot of drops where they're saying, he's throwing the ball hard and things like that. But you know what? You know who didn't have a hard time catching those passes?
Who?
His high school receivers at Belleville didn't have a hard time catching those passes.
Yeah.
When he's been to the 11-star camps and things like that throughout the thing, those high recruit receivers don't have any hard time catching his passes. Like I said, to me, it's just, I think we have some bum wide receivers. I mean, Marsh, the freshman, is a pretty good receiver. He doesn't seem to have any hard time catching his passes. But some of the other ones are, except I don't, if the people aren't catching the balls that are in their hand, I don't care how hard he's throwing it. That catch the goddamn ball. Right. You're a wide receiver.
Well, it has been a couple of plays that I've seen. I said, man, if he just, just kind of threw it over the top,
yes. Yes, I've seen some of those little touch ones, but I've been hearing a lot of complaints. Oh, he's throwing it so hard they can't catch it. He's throwing it so hard they can't catch it. I'm not buying those arguments. To me, that they have to catch those balls. But yeah, there's a couple where you see it and where he's throwing it more on a line than an over the top thing. Right. I've seen some of those. Some of his deep balls need to get a little bit better. Like I said, I was watching.
But he 18,
and just turned 18. Turned 18. Like I said, when I was watching the Michigan State game live, I was disappointed with the offense in general. Like I said, for one, they weren't letting him throw. I think he threw 16, 17 passes in the first half and threw 4 in the second half. And I was like, part of it, they're not letting him throw. But the second part of it was when he was throwing back there, he was getting pressured. So the offensive line wasn't blocking very well for him. So I was a little disappointed with that. But then I'd read something the next day where they had said that they'd actually set up 26 RPOs for him, where it was his decision whether to run or pass, and he was reading run. So they said some of that was him. But then yesterday he was just missing passes. I mean, he was missing passes yesterday. Like I said, several that were just wide open guys, and he was missing them. And then even there was one play in the second half, fourth quarter, I think it was, where he made this rollout, and I think it was third down, and he hit the tight end for a 20, 30-yard pass, and it was a beautiful throw. But then when you watch the higher version of it, and I heard the commentator say it, Marsh was wide open in the middle for a touchdown. He missed him. He still made a great play, but it was like one of those with a little more experience. He's hitting Marsh over the middle for a 40-yard touchdown instead of a 25-yard first down to the tight end.
Yeah,
but it's all going to come with learning, though. Like I said, you got to get the reps. You got to get the reps. It was funny because that was one of the things, as Amy was talking about it last night. She was the one asking me, is he worth the $12 million? And me and my buddy Lance were both saying, he's a freshman. He's a freshman. He's 18. And then she said something about, well, didn't J.J. McCarthy start as a freshman? I was like, no, he did not. He didn't start until 2 or 3 years. Most quarterbacks don't start as a freshman in college. It's such a different level. So the fact that he's even starting as a true freshman at just turned 18 is actually remarkable. The thing is, let's see how he is in 2 years as a junior. That's when I think you're really going to see it, because he's a hard worker. Like I said, all my little
national championship.
Yes.
Caliber.
And that's the thing. If you look at their team offensively right now, so you got him, who's a true freshman. You've got Jordan Marshall, the running back that played last night, who was a redshirt freshman. two of their starting offensive linemen are freshmen. They had the number one offensive lineman in the country who was expected to be a starter, Bobo or something like that, who got injured at the beginning of the season, so hasn't played. They've got the number one recruit running back in the nation coming next year. Andrew Marsh is a true freshman. Like I said, the future's still looking bright for them. Their offense is very, very young.
Yeah. And Michigan State has none of that promise coming, right?
I know, and they're about to lose some of their best players.
Yeah. So when you chop this up, you know, and start, posting it on social media, I want you to single this out right here.
Okay.
Michigan State fans are lame. They suck. They team suck. Everything about Michigan State sucks. I went up to Tennessee for my birthday.
Okay.
And we was riding to the store. And I came up against we were sitting at the corner at the light. And I look over to the right and I see Middle Tennessee. You remember Middle Tennessee?
Mm-hmm.
They knocked out Michigan State like in the first round.
Yeah.
I said, man, what's the odds of me coming up on Middle Tennessee? Man, it was hilarious. I sent it to Michigan State fans. They wouldn't even respond. But they suck. Everything about them suck. Even East Lansing. I don't like East Lansing. It's dirty.
Well, that was the one thing. Like I said, I'd never been to a Michigan State game. And like I said, I'm not going to dog the fans that were up there. Most of the fans who were up there were fine. There was a lot of Michigan fans up there. And as we were walking, we're having to walk through campus to get to the stadium. You would hear some people be like, oh, boo, or Michigan sucks, things like that. But most of the fans are friendly. And then we were sitting with a group, all Michigan State fans, and they were annoying because of how whiny they were, but they weren't ever disrespectful to us for Michigan State.
Because they know they suck.
Yeah, like I said, what really sucked to me was there is no parking there. No parking. I was told that beforehand, but literally the closest place that I got was still like a 15, 20-minute walk. There was no parking there at all, and that does suck. You know what's it's crazy? I saw a post the other day, and this kind of brings up what you were saying there. It took a combination of Michigan State probably having one of their best coaches of all time, in D'Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time that Michigan probably had two of their worst coaches of all time to actually make there be a 7-8 year period where Michigan State was the better team. And I still just feel like Michigan State, which that was unusual for them, but I think a lot of fans are still just latched onto that.
Right.
Because Michigan State sucked for a while now. And like you said, and I don't see it getting any better in football. I mean, a lot of it has to do with the NIL. And they don't have a strong NIL program, not for football. They don't have a strong NIL program. And then you got all the other powerhouses in the Big Ten right there in your area, the Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, that they're going to get the bulk of the recruits from those areas and then have more money NIL wise as well. I just don't see it getting any better for Michigan State.
Yeah. So that means they broke.
As far as college football programs, yes, they're broke.
All right, I'll get off the Michigan State thing. I'll get off of them. I'll leave them alone.
Oh, college basketball starts like this week.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm actually, Michigan's actually expected to be pretty good this year.
Oh, I didn't know.
I think they're preseason top 10 right now. They've got some studs. That Jacksonboro or something like that. His name is. I think he's a transfer student, but there was lots of talks. He would have been drafted in the first round and still decided to transfer. But so far in these exhibition games that they've had, he's been unstoppable. And then they've got 2 7-foot kids that are studs. One was a transfer from UCLA. He's like 7'3", 270. stud, and they've got a little point guard that
Seven
transferred.
three.
Yeah, they've got two guys that are over 7 foot, and then they got two guys that are like 6'11", 6'10". So they're going to be huge.
So they long. They're
going to be huge.
Wow.
But then they've got a guard that can get to the basket anytime he wants. They've got a couple shooters. They're going to be solid. Last week they did an exhibition game at Madison Square Garden against St. John's, and St. John's is ranked 5th in the country, and they beat St. John's. So they're going to be solid. They're going to be solid. They're going to be fun to watch. I like Dusty May, the coach there. I think they're going to be fun to watch this year.
Okay. Well, thanks for that. I'll be checking for them.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's very early in the NBA season right now, but I got to give some love to my Bulls. We 5-0, and I can't remember the last time we was 5-0. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we played them early.
Yeah,
maybe was it first, second, third game of the season. They looked impressive as I was watching them, and then, like I said, and they haven't lost since. So I was like, oh, okay, they look solid. Yeah, it's hard to say because I think they're undefeated, and I think Oklahoma City's undefeated, and other than that, everybody else has lost at least 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you saw Anthony Davis hurt himself. They thought it was an Achilles, but they haven't actually listed it as an Achilles yet. But that trade's looking more and more stupid every day. As Luka started the season with 3 straight 40-plus games.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
He took that personally. But like I said, I like Luka a lot. I have a love-hate relationship with Luka. Like I said, I think Luka is skill-wise potentially the best player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also one of the biggest whiner complainers in the NBA, and I have a hard time with that. So it gives me a hard time liking him when he's like that. And then now the fact that he's with the Lakers as well is kind of like one of those other double stamps on it. It's like, oh.
Did you see what Michael Jordan said about load management?
Yeah, I did. I agree. Like I said, I hate it. I hate load management. I think it's stupid.
I'm so glad he's with NBC. He's not scared to talk.
Yeah.
And the OGs need to speak on this stuff more.
Yeah. I mean, Charles Barkley's been one of the ones that have been talking about this kind of stuff. Like, I love Charles Barkley. I always did like Charles Barkley, though. But like I said, he's a trip. He's a trip to listen to. But he's been saying that stuff too. He's like, you get paid to play in games.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you sitting out when you're healthy? That's silly to me. But yeah, I agree. Like I said, it's a whole different mindset. It's funny listening to some of these arguments, and then like, God, am I an old head? I'm an old head.
Yeah.
And I understand the complexities of the game, like I said, and I get the reasons why they're playing, but like that kind of the reasons why they're playing how they play now. Like I said, it's a different form where all the 3-point shooting and layups and the stats say that that's the best way to do it. And so I get that kind of stuff. And I'm even seeing high school teams do that kind of stuff now as well. But some of these things, like you just said, though, like the load management, that's just laziness to me.
They blame Greg Popovich for that. He was the one that started sitting his players.
Mm-hmm.
But like Mike said, these tickets ain't cheap, man.
Right.
And you spend all this money to go into this game, and if your favorite player is LeBron and he's not playing, you feel like you got cheated out of that money.
I would. Like I said, like you said, it's not cheap. If I'm wanting to go take my family to a game, I mean, even if I get somewhat cheap tickets, by the time everything's all added up, it's $1,000 with cheap tickets. Easy. I mean, you're talking about the driving there, eating, parking, the tickets themselves. Yeah, and then if you go and you're going to watch your favorite player and he's not playing, that's
it's a lot that go into that.
for a kid too. For a kid, that could be absolutely devastating.
Then you got to sit in traffic when it's time to leave. It's time consuming, man. If a game started at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, you heading up there, what, about 5? Especially if you live in where you are, driving all the way to Detroit to get there. The food, everything, drinks. If you want a beer is $10.
Oh, at least. At least. I mean, yeah, like I said, just when me and Drew went, I took Drew and we went with 4 of his buddies and another dad. We went to a Pistons game last year. Just him and me going to the concessions was like $70. And it was like, good Lord. And I mean, and I'm still hungry afterwards. It was just, yeah, it's absurd.
And then you go and sit down, and he don't want to play.
Right. Now, thankfully, at least for Drew's purposes, Drew likes basketball, but he don't have favorite players like that. Like I said, he's just happy to go. Like I said, he actually really likes Cade Cunningham. So we go to a Pistons game to go watch, and he's happy to see Cade Cunningham. But when we went last year, we went and saw Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
And so it's funny because it's funny. Drew's not a huge basketball player, but he pays attention to stuff. So like he's sitting there calling out SGA's foul baiting, and he was foul baiting that game. I mean, I want to say he had 22 free throws against us. Just like every time he drove to the basket, they called a foul. Which that kind of stuff drives me crazy too, the foul baiting aspect of the NBA nowadays. But yeah, it's tough. Like I said, I love the experience of it, but I don't think I could be a season ticket holder to mostly sports. I'd almost much just rather watch it in the comfort of my living room, eat my own snacks, have my own bathroom, things like that. It's cool to get the experience. Like I said, Drew really loved that Michigan State game. Just to get to see Michigan State, Spartan Stadium and things like that. And it was a cool stadium to be at, and the atmosphere was cool. And like I said, and we won, so that would help.
How did that happen? How did he become a Michigan State fan?
Well, there's a couple factors. One factor is he just has that personality sometimes where he likes to be different.
Okay,
but that's not all of it, because he likes all my other teams. He likes the Lions, he likes the Tigers, and things like that. The biggest factor, I think it was when he was a kid, young, before school. We had a friend of Amy's, friends of ours, that watched our boys. And the dad, who I'm good friends with now, is a huge Michigan State fan and knew I was a huge Michigan fan. And he just worked on them.
Oh.
Yep, just worked on them. So that's it.
Pissed.
It's funny. I can remember too, like little times when he was young. He'd be wanting something, or he'd get mad at me for something, and he'd give me this little scowl, and he's like, "Dad, go green," just to try to piss me off, and it would actually make me laugh more than anything. But I've tried to convert him, and he's also very stubborn. So, like I said, it's one of those, like, the more I try to convert him, it's almost the more that he likes Michigan State.
But do you ever say, son, you see how bad they are?
Yeah, I mess with them all the time about it. It was funny because at the game, it was a competitive game for most of the game. The football game was last week, and then I think it was in the fourth quarter. It was 24-13. It was like maybe 7-8 minutes to go in the game, and then State went for it on fourth down and then didn't get it. And so we're all happy. And then I kind of look at him, and he's just kind of sitting there with like a dead face. And I say something to him, and he gave me like a one-word response. I said, "Are you mad?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so then I'm trying to console him as a dad. I was like, "Oh, buddy, hey, it was a competitive game. You guys didn't get." And he's like, "Yeah." And then kind of pepped up. And it was like literally as I'm saying that, Jordan Marshall broke that long touchdown run to make it 31-13. And then you could just kind of see him sink a little bit again. And I was like, oh, man. But then, I mean, State ended up scoring as time expired with the backup and something like that. So still made it like 31-20 or something like that. So a little bit more respectable. But so then that next day we were all at Trunk or Treat, and a bunch of people come up to him, was like, how's that game, Drew? I was like, and he's like kind of going like that. And then the one guy was like, I mean, you didn't really expect that you guys were going to win, did you? And he had said, I thought we could. Like, serious. He said, I thought we could. So he was disappointed, but I don't know. Their basketball team's always solid, so he'll try to talk back to me a little bit this year. But if they win, which they could, I mean, basketball is a different type of game. I don't think they'll be favored.
Doing nothing in basketball either.
No, like I said, I don't. We're definitely on paper a better team than they are this year. So, like I said, could they still win? Yeah, they could still win. Basketball's funny, but like I said, I expect Michigan to win against them this year.
Okay.
And then he doesn't really have much else to go on. But
all right, man. We got an hour before kickoff.
Yeah.
We should do. I don't know if we can do it on this platform, but we should watch a game live.
Yeah, when do they play each other?
It's not until I think it's the last game of the season.
We'll definitely have to plan on that one live. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can figure out a way to do it. Like I said, I don't know that we can do it on this. Like you're saying, like live, like where we're broadcasting it live, where it's
right.
Yeah, so that would definitely have to be on a different. I don't know if I can do it on YouTube or not. Like I said, I think I can do it on TikTok because I have enough followers on TikTok. But I think you have to have so many followers to be able to do live streams, and I don't think we have enough on YouTube yet. But
okay.
But I think we can do it on TikTok because on TikTok I have enough for sure. That'd be fun.
Okay.
That'd be fun. Talk shit to each other.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be? And it would be really cool if the game meant something at that time too, which it could, being last game of the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And it's in Chicago, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to figure something out for that for sure.
Okay.
All right. Even if we can't do it live, maybe we can still film it while we're watching it and still post some reaction to it or something like that. But we'll get it figured out for sure.
Okay, cool.
All right. Are you ready to lead us out of here?
Yes. I want to start this out with apologize. We're not going to have this big gap no more in between episodes. We will do better. But, life getting away sometimes. So, but please continue to check for us on all platforms. But yeah, that's it. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
I don't think we actually have a TikTok page.
But you are.
But I have a TikTok that I post these things on, yeah.
Yeah.
So
keep checking for us.
Watch us on everything. And remember, like I said, if you made it this far and you haven't subscribed yet, why not? It helps us out a lot. Go ahead and subscribe so we can keep putting out good content for you guys. And as always, go Blue, go Lions. Jeff?
Go Bears. Bear down, baby. Bear down.
All right. Until next time, guys.
All right.